Hi, good morning. This is Sagar here, and so we're going to have a quick demo for today on Informatica MDM Training. So, on the behalf of MindMajix, I will be taking a quick demo to give you a sneak peek about how Informatica MDM generally works, how it is different from the other Informatica tools, and why is it beneficial for students like you, and how does it stand in the marketplace. Okay. But before we begin, I'd like to talk about our institution as a MindMajix. So MindMajix has several years of experience with rich training personnel. We have worked with reputed corporates around the world, around the globe, and still connected with them. They are continuously professional, getting trained in different technologies, including Informatica, Master Data Management, MuleSoft, and several other technologies. So I would say that MindMajix is one of the institutes we would like to bank your trust upon. And so there's also another thing that we also will be talking about certification and all the aspects what the MindMajix is going to be providing to you. So on a very whole nutshell, I would say that MindMajix is a place where you can learn and practice the things. You can ask your questions and get prepared for those technologies where you will be starting working in the near future. All right. So let's move into the next slide. I would like to talk about today's agenda. Okay. I've been introducing myself, my career experience, and how I've evolved in my career with the journey for Informatica Master Management. We're talking about Informatica Master Management in the current market trend, the current version, how it is standing in the market today. We'll be talking about the course curriculum, what the course would be including, what the course will be including. Okay. All the topics, all the syllabus, we're going to go through that. Quick sneak peek about what is a Master Data Management. So today's topic, I would like to give a small brief about today's topic is Introduction to Master Data. Maybe some of you would be new to Master Management, or you would have worked in some of the allied fields in Master Data Management. So today's topic of Introduction to Master Data Management would get your ideas clear that why, how, where, and when Master Data Management is implemented, and why is it beneficial for the companies, or why it is beneficial for corporates in today's world, and how it drives their business. We will also be talking about certification that is available in the market, what certification you could prepare yourself for and hone your skills on it, and what certification support we would be providing. So let's move to the first slide, that would be about me. So overall, the data would remain the same everywhere, as in this data is a continuous changing entity, and if the data isn't handled at stage properly, then it becomes really cumbersome to store it, utilize to a level where you are analyzing the data and filing it. So in a nutshell, I've been working with in huge MNC companies, or even with European companies, and even with the American companies with from the scratch projects, and I would say it's fun to work with the data. Working with the Master Data Management, I would say that I've seen tools with IDEA and also with Informatica Master Data Management. I found that it is quite user friendly. It does take some time in the beginning to understand the concepts. It's more of the conceptual things and configuration and less of the coding. But once we get the understanding of the concepts and the knack of it, then it's pretty much easy to pick it up. There's a lot of innovation happening with Informatica going ahead. So in fact, things are going towards an automation, things are going towards more UI friendly, things are coming up. So in the traditional tools, we have the IDD, now we are having it. So there's also a change in the legacy, more of the thing, like some of the components are becoming legacy and some of the things are coming. But the core component of MDM is still remaining the same and going strong. So I would say that if there is one tool, if I have to pick up all of the different Informatica, all of the different MDM in the market, so I would definitely go for Informatica MDM. So So well, that's about me. Let's move on to the course curriculum. So I'd like to brief about what is the syllabus or the curriculum what we use. So as I said that master data management is more driven by concepts. It's a conceptual thing where data, how did the data flow? Where does the data cleansing happen? Where does the data enhancement happen? All these factors are very important. So you will see a lot of coding over here, but it's more of doing the configurations of the stage area, the landing area, to configure how the data is moving from one place to other, trying to identify what is the difference between the first load and the last load. So that's called the delta detection. So all these things are more or less concept, and these are being configured in the system. Once you configure these things in the system, it goes on a running batch process, which is like a continuous cycle. So we'll be going through the MDM core concepts and what is the MDM Master Data Management, and we'll be talking about the architecture. So when I say that we'll be talking about the MDM architecture, we will be talking about the generic MDM architecture as well as Informatica architecture. That how is Informatica structured? What are the components present in Informatica? So we'll be talking about all these components from the architecture point of view. What are the roles played by each of the components in the Informatica MDM architecture, such as we have a hub console. Why is hub console important? And what are the different servers present in Informatica? We have a match and merge server, cleanse server. So what is the actual usage of these cleanse server, match server, hub store? Why is it required? Then we have a UI based tool called as IDD or E360. So why is Informatica data director required? How does it interact with the Informatica MDM? So as in the core component. So we'll talk about the architecture as a whole and so on. We're going to go through the hub console, which is like when I say a core MDM component, so and the hub console is where you do majorly all the configuration, all of the development. Okay. So 90% of our development configuration happens on the hub console. So that is like our development tool. So we'll be going through each and every, so we'll be going through all of the MDM hub console segments. We're going to talk about the MDM schemas and the objects. So as I said that MDM has a kind of data flow. With the data flow, there's different data objects present in it. Some of the system generated objects which the tool smartly populates and writes the data. Okay, so I'd say that we're going to talk about all the schema objects, database objects, how and what are their roles in the whole play scenario. Then we have then we're going to talk about how the data quality, cleansing, how it's going to change the data, what role it plays in the data life cycle, and what major component it brings on the table, as in with the Informatica concepts and Informatica features. We also going to talk about match and merge. So this match and merge is the two keywords which kind of define us a journey towards the golden record. In a nutshell, master data management is like a journey for data towards golden records, and we're going to talk about it in a while. Match and merge is something we're going to touch base upon. We're going to talk about the security, how data level security happens, how object level security happens, and of course some of the advanced topics, how to improve the performance, how to retain the keys. So these are some of the how to do different types of loading. We're going to talk about database those advanced topics. We're going to go about the Informatica data director, which is the UI. So all in all, syllabus or the curriculum consists of all the aspects of the MDM, and with the introducing you, with the driving through to the all the aspects of Informatica master data management. This is the curriculum on a brief side. I just said that there could be a question that how are we going to proceed on it? Okay. So we're probably going to have around 18 to 20 hours of session. Okay. Maybe around 10 15 sessions, wherein these sessions would be correlated with all of these syllabus mentioned over here, the curriculum topics mentioned here. They would be distributed across these sessions, and we'll be showing you a live demo of how the data is getting, so how Informatica is driving the data from one stage to other, how the cleansing is happening, how the enhancement is happening, and how it is leading the journey to the golden record. So we go through all of these with an example, with the product tool available in front of us. And over here, we're going to show you that why Informatica is playing a very major role, and it's a differentiating factor. So, yes, this is the course where all the syllabus will be completed. For fees and the details, you can connect with the MindMajix personnel, and duration, I would say that roughly around 13 sessions should do the magic. We'll be having some sessions where it will be mostly an interactive live session, and a few of the theory, as it is also quite conceptual. If I were to have to talk about Informatica has in the market, then I would say that it is not the sole tool present, caters to service of master data management. Okay. But it is one of the tools, as you see that it is one of the tool of the many who is kind of a leader. And even in this year, the Gartner has given it a very high rating for its innovation and its adaptability. So in fact, Informatica MDM comes with a multi-domain license, which some of the other tools do not, are very limited to the domain. So when we talk about domain, the master data management, it could be related to a customer, or it could be related to vendor-based domain, or it could be related to a product, it could be related to your location master data management. So this is a tool which gives the flexibility to have multi-domain, which is kind of a cumbersome in some other tools. It restricts you for domains and would try to make you stick to. So it gives more flexibility, and from the innovation point of view, I would say that Informatica MDM is bringing up a lot of its so Gartner has been putting it in the leaders quadrant. I think it's in the near future, in the long run, MDM data management has going to come up as a winning horse, and it's still one of really good tools. So what are the certifications available in the master data management? I would say that Informatica itself is the evaluator or is the conductor for these training, and two types of certifications are available. One is the developer certification and administrator certification. So either of both will do. If you're trying to aim yourself to be an administrator, looking at the servers, rebooting the servers, trying to resolve the performance issues, and caters more on the troubleshooting and on that side of the NIT, so you can try to go into the administrator certification, and developer certification would be more into the day-to-day, converting the business logic into your technical artifacts. So these are the two certificates available. So depending upon your wish, your direction, you can steer it to either of them. Certifications are a bit costly. It is around $240, and it's around 44,000 somewhere. It is really good. It has a high value. You're certified, so recommend you go for it. And of course, MindMajix is going to provide its own certification of completion. So it gives you a embossment of your completed. So it's something to look out for. So let's start today's topic that please seek for into the introduction of why do we need master data. So let me explain you briefly that why do we need a master. So in today's world, or even in data in general, is not constant. Data is continuously changing all the time. Okay. Now there are companies who have. So let's imagine a multinational company who has a sales segment, sales department, who has a delivery department, who has a delivery system department, a system, okay, and there is a team who does all the analysis or the decision making, management. So data is spread all these all these departments, the various departments into the system. If the data is being fed, we need a system to have to get these data integrated, synchronized. The main objective of master data management would be to get things synchronized. Okay, to integrate the data, to relate this data. A simple example, I'm going to give you a simple example. Let's try that when a sales representative starts with an order. Okay, so if it's trying to sell a particular product and there's a customer who likes the product and makes a shows an interest on it, okay, and he tries to go back. Okay, but while entering the address, the customer probably maybe gets his name right. Okay, but the address is probably mistaken with. So maybe is mistaken with the street number. The street number should have been 22nd, but he enters 23. Okay, that could be an honest mistake. That's very much possible. Okay, so this possibility of entering the data is fine. It could happen. So maybe the sales rep at the sales department has entered the wrong data. Okay. But the rest of the information, probably the purchase record, purchase details about who the product he has purchased, about the billing information, everything else is good enough. Okay, this data moves to the next level. Okay, it goes to your billing system. Now over here in the billing system, the billing department is going to check if the particular person is going to check or cross-check if the particular person is the same or it is different. If it doesn't do that, it probably will be shifted. The object will be shifted to a wrong address where the person doesn't stay. So let's say that assume that this particular billing system tries to identify that what is the person really living over there. Okay, it does the cross verification. And it finds out that no, there is a change in the address, and the address is not in the 23rd but in the 22nd. Okay, so this is the data. So now we have two addresses for the same person. So this is the relevant data which should get overwritten by the 22nd street is the relevant address should overwrite it from the third, should get updated. Or it could happen that the James student, the person, has probably changed his location, changed his address, or maybe given as one permanent address and the other has a mailing it. In this scenario, it should, if it is done as a vice versa, that the permanent address is mentioned in the mailing address or this is mentioned in the mailing address and there is an update happening, then the data should get updated. Okay, this update or synchronization between the different departments is where the MDM comes into the picture. Okay, the MDM tries to read your data from your sales department, from your billing department, from your delivery department. It tries to update the data continuously. These are no two different personnels with two different address. Okay, these are the same people. So let's say that there is a mistake in the name over here, and this is Dura, but the SSN number remains the same. Okay, so we know that certain criteria would tell us that the person is actually the same, but there has been a data mistake. So first it has taken the name of James Dura, but when the data is read from the billing system, it tries to update the particular name. Okay. So it's more or less MDM is a journey towards achieving a golden record. So has to keep the data updated. So in fact, IT is losing this battle if they aren't keeping up with the data, because we are having around thousands of products and 10,000s or millions of customers. The data is continuously changing because people are moving, their marital status is changing, their addresses are changing, and if this data is not being being changed or currently updated, then it is not much of use. Okay, because imagine that the billing, if the data is built to delivered to a wrong address, that would be a problem. Or let's imagine that there was a General Motors scenario where the General Motor was trying to recall all of its cars. Okay, even Volkswagen did it. Tried to recall all of its cars because it wanted to change some ignition system part, okay, which was non-compliant to the environment. Okay, so in that scenario, what we'll try to do is it will try to list out all the customers who has bought a particular model, let's say a Beetle or of year 20. We tried to list out all of the customer who has bought a model of a car on this particular year of a particular variant. Now imagine that we are in the year 2015. So if it happens in 2010, and there would be definitely change in the address, change in the location where people are staying, and how could also be happen that the people's email have changed, okay, or even telephone numbers have changed. Now we have to send them an SMS or an email, formal email, then it has to go to a same person. So in this case scenario, if the data is not updated, probably the customers wouldn't receive the updated information. So there could be a fiasco that emails are sent up to the wrong people, or even if we are sending a compensation, we do not want a compensation letter going to a wrong person who haven't even purchased it. Oh, if they purchased it, but there's more to another address, and we have mailed it to another. We will mail it to a previous address. So this is a journey where we are trying to go to a golden record. So the goal of the master data management, I would say, is to provide synchronization in the company, to provide a focal point for different systems to get connected. And data quality is an aspect where so all of the data quality and all of the aspects of the data is going to come into. So now we talked about why it is important, how the companies are going to suffer if the information is not being updated. Okay, we're going to talk about the concept of so in a nutshell, so this is the concept of majorly the master data map. So we are having, let's say, James has been the data James Durham is the data entered over here. This is the entered data over here. Okay. And there is another department, let's say the marketing department. The marketing department would like to update its mobile number or get its Instagram handle. When it tries to fetch the data, it includes data. It's going to provide all the attributes, okay, and update the data. Good. It has to be made sure that the same person gets the data updated, because if we try to create n number of different databases, okay, like let's say that we are having this as one record, okay, then this as another record. In the marketing department brings up on this as another record. We are saying that this is James D and it's Instagram is something like G_D. So all these three are not three different persons, but they are same persons. So in a way, we have to try to understand, make the system smart enough so that it picks up the best address, best of all sources. So we know that James, this is the person. So the best address comes from the sales department. So we take the address from the sales department, and we take the Instagram, maybe the Instagram or the mobile or the information from the marketing, and you have the best data case scenario. So you're taking the bits of information from all of these departments, you're trying to match them, check if the person is remaining the same. The check could happen on the name, it could happen on the likeliness of the address, or it could also happen on some unique numbers like an SSN number, PAN card, or some other number. Find out if the person is, and then the best of the golden record gets survived, and the rest of the records get dropped out. So in an all, whenever a sales team needs a clean data. It's going to try and hit your master database management. It's going to find the one complete record with all of its information. So it goes through a process of data enhancement, standardization. Okay, so standardization could be anything. Could be like your date format. Could be like your SSN in a particular format, or the street address in a particular format, or including a salutation. So maybe we do not have Mr. over here, but we put up a Mr. Reading, trying to read the gender from one of the data source, and make an educated guess and make the system understand that this is the gender of the male, and so add a salutation. So these are some of the standardization which we can do it. Some of the data cleansing which we can do it. The data cleansing could be like we have having probably an extra digit added over here in the name, alphabet added in the name, or we are having some spaces in the name which will get trimmed off or unwanted. So data cleansing is something where you're trying to remove the unwanted things. It could be spaces, could be some particular pattern of a number, pattern of an alphabet, which you have to get it in a particular standard environment, standard format, and that is where you try to. So this is an entire journey where the data quality comes into the picture, okay, and it moves to your golden record. So this is majorly the idea or concept of what is the master data management. Where is the master data management used? So if I have to talk about that, the sources of master data management could be an SAP system, okay, it could have different SAP system or billing system. It could have a marketing system. All this information is going to be fed into your master data management, okay, and they could also be read back again by all of you. So if I would say that ERP is one of its source system, it could also happen here that data warehouse is also one of its source system, and also a consumer. So it can happen that the consumers are also the source for the data warehouse. It's like a going cycle. Yeah. So in the placement in the data life, it is like a circle. Okay. Or it could happen that the sales rep is only reading the data and not feeding the data in the MDM. So as I said, that it's the process of integrating all these systems and synchronizing the data among and getting the best out of these. So this is the placement of the master data management in the data life cycle. Okay. So who are the consumers? As we saw that an ERP could be a consumer, or a data warehouse could also read the master data. So because probably a few of you must have worked into the data warehousing and business intelligence project, where you have the product, you have customers, and all these dimensions. So all these dimensions would definitely require the standard and clean data. So that could come from an ERP, or it could come from an MDM. So if you have an MDM, definitely you will have a cleaner, reliable data. So yeah, BI systems could be one of the things. They could be marketing department, sales department could be feeding in the system. So it moves in a circle, and MDM implementation and so from the duration perspective, MDM is not a one-time thing. So the journey for a golden record is not a one-time thing. So for an example, we have seen James making a purchase. We have seen James moving to another address, or the address getting updated. Okay, but if this is a scenario happened probably at one particular time, there could happen that James is and James is making another purchase. But during his next purchase, he has changed his address. Probably he has moved to another flat in the same street, let's say 105. Okay, now this particular person, we do not want a complete new record for in the MDM master data management or whole and source as a new record. this is not a different person, but it's the same person, and the address has been changed. So even at a later duration of the time, this record would be challenged. So if this is a golden record present right now, this record would be continuously getting challenged, and there'll always be match and merge happening. So matching is happening, and always the process of golden record creation will always happen. If there is an update, it's well and good, it gets updated. If it is not updated, then it stays unique golden survivor. So yeah, from the duration perspective, it's an ongoing thing, a continuous thing. It's not a one-time thing. It's not like a data migration. You pull it and you push it, and that's it. When you think of a master data management, you think of a long-term and a continuous thing. So this is okay. So yeah, this is the introduction to the master data management. So when we start with our syllabus and with our sessions, we're going to get into the deep technical aspects of it, that what are the jargons, what are the meaning of the jargons, and what is the concept of it, and how to implement them in the tool. So I think, pretty much this is it for the introduction session. We're going to demonstrate a few of the examples, like a live example, probably a customer party model or a product model, where we're going to show that how the data is getting, what is the architecture of the different tables or different objects that plays a role in the real world. So we're going to talk about the different real world examples a month into later. Well, there would be a lab setup, so you guys can access, and you guys can do a practical sessions and make the changes on your own, try to learn the tool. So that's what MindMajix is going to provide. Definitely we're going to provide some course material, installations, and so interviews and resume preparation. So I would say that course materials are quite very important, that you would receive some guides and notes, that all the definitions and the concepts what we're going to talk about, how the SOPs would be going to talk about how to perform a particular thing, how to load into a particular landing table, how to load into the staging table, what are the different aspects which are going to come into the picture, like standardization, cleansing, and so all these aspects would have a documentation provided to you. And so mock interview preparation. So these are some of the sample questions. Probably you may or may not be able to relate it right now. So as I said, that there are different objects. So what happens in the landing process, what happens in the staging process, tokenization, and match and merge. So each would be dealt with an example and conceptual session with it. So why do we need a consolidation indicator? What is its major role? What are the different values we have? And when does the consolidation indicator change? And what is the significance of its change? Why it becomes 4 to 2? Why does it become from 2 to 1? Consolidation indicator 1 means a golden record. So all these questions, what is the delta detect? Where does the delta get scaled? So these are some of the mock interview questions. So I think the basic, once your concepts are clear, most of the interview questions will come up as easy. Yes, that is also the thing. I would like to conclude today's session. Thanks for your patience and thanks for your interest.